For the first time this season, Mansfield Christian's taking the field following a loss as the Lady Flames will try to right the ship at home tonight with Centennial here at Comstock Field, making their way up from Columbus. And you can watch all the action live and free with your pregame coverage coming up right here and now. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brian Skowronski, and this is a Mansfield Christian Media production tonight. That's right. We've got a lot of my favorite students here taking over, including on the mic. I've got Jackson Yoder with me, and this is a game here where you're starting to run out of runway here as we're getting closer to the tournament draw, so you just don't have that many more opportunities to really put your best foot forward. So this is a big match for both squads.
I think it is, and for the Lady Flames here, you've got to be able to get the win when it comes down to the latest parts of the season, especially when it comes to getting close to the playoffs for seeding and all the other reasons. You need to be at your best near the end of the season.
Take a look at our Centennial team spotlight here. Just 2 wins all season for the Stars, but they do compete in the Columbus City League. They play tough competition all around Franklin County, and they likely against Mansfield Christian, they won't see anything that they haven't already bumped into in terms of overall athletes, talents, the way that they possess the ball. But what you love most, coming off of a couple of wins. So at least they got some momentum. They're trending in the right direction.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I don't think either of us really know too much about this squad so we're really going to find out a lot tonight watching them. But like you said, coming off of 2 wins with the loss, but 2 wins in a row, doing pretty good. Maybe they'll get another one tonight.
On the flip side, the competition, Mansfield Christian started the season with 9 straight wins, outscoring the competition 71-10 during that stretch. But over their last 2 matches, they've been outscored 6-3, draw against Madison, and then they lost here at home against Whitaker, a game that you saw live and free on Saturday. It's been a pretty light schedule for the Flames until the last couple of games, but we fully expect them to be at their best here tonight.
Yeah, and I think just going into today, you just gotta be ready for just about anything to happen, and just hoping that you can have a good game today.
If they're going to do that, certainly feel like they can lean on the play of their stud sophomore, Brooklyn Ryder. It's really taken a big step up her sophomore season from where she was a year ago as a freshman. And you see her career numbers, 19 goals, 14 of those coming so far here in 2025. Number 8, certainly she can be a showstopper at times. There is Brooklyn having one last conversation with one of her teammates, Marlea Rader. And with the Flames on the field, let's take a look at our keys to victory tonight. For MC, I'm just going with some ball movement. That's normally what kind of leads them in the right direction, and then utilize some of that outside speed. They have some track stars on the perimeter. Make sure that they are touching the ball early and often. And on the flip side tonight, for the Stars coming in here on the road, you got to protect the box. There's a lot of weapons, plenty of playmakers for MC. Several kids flirting with double-digit goals so far. And then just make the easy passes. You don't always have to go out of your way to do something creative. Sometimes it's the little things that add up to the big goal and the mission at the end of the night.
Yeah, just like you said, making the easy passes. Don't go overboard. Make sure that you're just playing your game at a normal level until you get to maybe your clutch time, maybe 2 minutes left to go in both these halves. Then you can maybe start pushing a little bit more. But if you're making just easy passes and utilizing it in the box, I think you're going to have a pretty good game. And the Flames will kick off and get the ball first as this game is underway. Brooklyn Ryder's going to handle with it. That one's going to trickle out of bounds. So the Stars are going to get a chance here with their first couple touches of the game as this one's thrown in. But a good steal there by Ryder. She's going to bring it up pass. Flames keeping it. Now we got a chance for Centennial. Good defensive stop there. So Mansfield Christian's going to bring it back the other way, as you see on the far sideline. Setting up a chance here. She crosses over. She's going to poke it through, but it's going to get stopped and go out of bounds. So this one, I believe, is going to set up a corner, and it will set up a corner kick. So this would be Mansfield Christian's first on the night. The kick is away. It's a low line drive. Stuck inside the box, 50-50. And this one is going to come away with Mansfield Christian, as they're going to set up this offense. A boot from outside the box just goes to the right. Good chance there for Mansfield Christian. So it's going to be a goal kick.
All right, thank you, Jackson. I'm going to return to the party now with y'all. Decent start here for the Flames, at least getting up into the attacking third, putting some pressure on the defense. But as we saw in the boys' game, Flames had the run of play there in the first half. It was Upper Sandusky capitalizing on their limited potential that they had with the scores, and they were able to put 2 in. So we'll see if the Flames are able to put a couple in the back of the net, if not at least just one here early. So we're only 3 minutes here into the action.
Yeah, I would say the boys' game, Mansfield Christian was off to a very hot start in that first half, but then again, 2 goals to show for it for Upper Sandusky. This is when we got a chance, a little poke shot, but it's not going to go anywhere much but that out-of-bounds boundary. So we got 2 shots already for Mansfield Christian. Centennial setting up, and they're going to give this one a long boot, but it's going to be poked and trickle out of bounds for what will be a throw-in for the Stars.
Temperature steadily dropping here once that sun goes down behind the forestry area. At kickoff, it was about 74 degrees, 73 now. And what was a beautiful day in north central Ohio, very sunny, warm afternoon for the competition for the boys' game. Flames with some excellent ball movement, trying to force the defense to come to them. Good patience and another great find here in the middle of the park. Stars trying to pack it in as we get Michelle Hope spinning and laying it off. Flames have done a nice job here exercising some patience.
Little cross.
But no shot attempt.
No. Just a juggle to herself, but looks like that one will roll out and over the touchline. So we get a goal kick for Centennial.
That was Lydia McFadden, the sophomore, front and center. Was able to get a couple of touches. Now back to the action off the goal kick. Here's Ryder. Was maneuvering. Centennial just trying to get it out of harm's way. They almost did. But MC keeping on the heat, looking to turn it up. Lobbed up, and this will be out of bounds. Wise decision by the keeper to lay off of that one. It's Kayla Haycock back there defending tonight. Anna Sierra Torres, fresh off the restart. Ryder with the first touch, but back in possession of the Stars here with Hannah Kane. I think she kind of just lost the handle there, so it's a quick throw here. MC. Anna Tucker hanging back, had an option behind Ryder. She tried to make a move and lost it. Now Brooklyn with the setup to the middle. Good ball down in the corner, chase down. Here's McFadden on the cross. Just could not get someone to strike it to the back.
Heard a couple O's in the press box from our media production team.
I mean, that's as close as
That
it
was
gets
close.
with
That was
McFadden tracking on the back end.
That was close. Stars are going to have it, but fighting for it. This one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Mansfield Christian Flames. So the Stars of Centennial going to throw this one in. Slight little lob, but it's going to have a big lob kick.
Be back over to Mansfield Christian here with the throw and just keeping the pressure on, trying to keep the ball down in the attacking third. And I think if you're the Stars, that you're pretty content trying to play defense more often than not, pack it in with 10 players, and just see if you can hang around in this match for a while. I think that's got to be the goal for Centennial, and so far they've been able to dodge a couple of bullets and keeping the clean sheet.
Ooh. Bob a little save there, but ends up keep it from going past that line.
Now Haycock with the punt will trickle into Flame territory. Little pressure. Here's Anna Sierra Torres. Can tell that she's probably the playmaker for this team. Quickly racing back into Stars territory. And out of bounds here for an MC throw. That'll say hello to everybody out there watching live and free tonight on Facebook and also on our main YouTube channel. Drop me and Jackson some comments.
Be happy to read them.
Yeah, say what's up to our Mansfield Christian crew as well.
And if you know me, don't hesitate to comment. I would love to hear that you're listening in.
Got Hudson Stiegel doing double duty tonight. He's on your top cam right now.
This one's going to go. Ooh, close one there. But good little.
Oh, did Hudson have some shout-outs? You got something to say to the fans? Hold on, we'll get the mic close to him.
Shout out Denver Elliott, shout out Mr. Branham, and shout out Aiden Johnson.
Look at that.
Good
Two
shout-outs.
jobs, one time, all the shout-outs. Aiden Johnson as well, fresh off the pitch. He's doing some of your directing tonight. Aiden, how are you feeling coming off of the field? Obviously, it's been a really nice run for you guys here recently. Break down for me what your impressions were of the game against the Rams.
Yes. Our game, against the Rams?
Yeah,
or today?
now.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Upper
yeah.
Sandusky?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that we definitely could have played better, but it was just, some of it was just a lot of mental, so, but I had fun when I got out there. This is my first year playing soccer, so, it was just fun for me, but it was also just a sad loss for us, so, yeah.
So bounce back season for the Flames coming up in their next game. Got to go on the road at Kidron Central Christian. And same thing here for the ladies tonight. As mentioned, if you watch their game on the OH Report on Saturday against Wolfpack, end up losing for the first time all year, 4-1. And soccer's a little bit different from fighting, but I think you kind of liken it a little bit too when you're undefeated for a really long time. And then you suffer a defeat, it's like, whoa, I'm not quite used to this. And the first time stepping back out there into the arena can be a little bit of a different feel.
Yeah, for me when I was
were you a prize fighter? Oh, okay.
No, I was saying basketball last year. I mean, I don't think we won. We might have won like 2 games all year. I mean, stepping back in, it was just like, well, might not win today, but if we do, hey, that's great. But we had to play a lot of hard teams.
That hasn't been the case for Mansfield Christian early in the season. However, their last 2 matches against some quality competition. And that's what you need before you get into the tournament, to be able to see some big-time schools as some big-time speed right here to chase this down for Zoe Leonard. But gets deflected off the cross, and Centennial content just to put it out of bounds here for a flame throw. Right back to Zoe, looking to set up the left foot with the cross. That's a little behind the target. Off the crossover, the shot back post,
Whoa.
and it hits the post.
That goalie was lucky.
Haycock definitely on the
You're
lucky rabbit's foot end right there.
You're lucky.
So it keeps it 0-0. Just missing there by a couple of inches.
That was a lot of luck. But here we go.
Yeah, Flames turning up the heat.
Boys didn't quite have it tonight. The girls, although, starting up pretty strong. Showing some fire with a little flair. And that one's going to be recovered.
Yeah, Haycock's been a little shaky with the catches, but so far she's doing exactly what she needs. Clean bill right now, and we're over 13 minutes off the clock. And again, defensively, if you're going to pack it in like this, you got to be able to keep Mansfield Christian from having clean looks on goal. I think they're checking that box so far.
Yeah, I would say most of this game has been in Mansfield Christian's favor. I don't think the Stars have maybe even crossed midfield yet. They probably have a few times, but that one just goes overboard. Couldn't get it to curve in. So Centennial's going to goal kick this one.
Going to be a Centennial throw on the way. Maybe a little frustration for the Flames as we're about 15 minutes in. They're still sitting scoreless. One of the highest scoring teams in North Central Ohio. Talking nearly 7 goals per match. So they get the cross here near posts, but Ryan Anderson can't put that one in.
Centennial's going to line this one up again. But hold up, we got a chance here, but this one going to be deflected.
Get some shout-outs up here in the press box from my color guy, Jackson Yoder. Just lives right down the block. Just kind of wandered in off the street into the press box. I was like, Jackson, come on in, call the game with me. That's totally not true. But
that would be interesting, though. That would be interesting.
I've definitely let way less qualified people on the microphone before.
Oh.
Yeah, last
What
year
was
during
that like?
basketball season tends to ring a bell here in the furnace, but we don't need to name names.
Who was that? Who was
No,
who was that?
there's no need.
Anybody from the anybody from MCS?
Yeah, nobody that's touching a tripod right now, that's for sure.
Oh, Noah.
Nice strong take here by I like this Sierra Torres when number 5's been able to get her feet on it. She's done some nice things here for the Stars, and even though they've only had about 2-3 touches so far in enemy territory, they've done enough just to keep the game right where it is. 0-0, and again, if you can just keep hanging around,
Yeah.
crazy things can happen in the beautiful game.
We kind of saw that in the first half of the boys' game. Like, they would just kind of hang around sometimes, and then somehow they managed to poke one through the posts.
Avery Johnson pushing it in the corner for a Raider. And he'll be out. We'll have a corner kick coming up here for the Flames. So again, defended nicely by Centennial. At least not allowing any clean look on net. Get Ryder handling this one as she'll send a rocket. Overshot, I think everybody. They're suggesting that it was touched by Centennial. I'm not sure how or when. But the Flames very confidently threw it in, so sometimes that's all it takes.
Don't give the refs any chance to think about it. Just throw it in. Kind of like a football move. It's close to the out of bounds. It's like, did he catch it or was he out of bounds? I don't know. We're just going to run the play so they can't review it.
Yeah, super smart. We saw that in a big game. Marion Local on Friday to keep their win streak at 70. They had exactly that happen. A kid had the ball go all the way through his hands, but then he went down and he came up and really sold it to the referee. They ended up giving him a first down, and they pulled off a 1-point win. Longest football winning streak in the country. Pretty crazy. But sometimes that's all it takes. Just a little sell, and they'll do a quick entry here to Betchler. But it's going to be taken, carrying down this near side. This is Sierra Strode. But that's been the case pretty much for the Stars. Right around the midfield line, it's just been like a force field for them. As the cross is set up. And that's as close as it can be for Raider.
Hey, that wasn't me. I went with the crowd on that one.
So Marley Raider, just a sophomore. He's one of the leading scorers on the team last year. Up to another nice start here in 2025. And a lot of great scorers on this Flame squad. Heavy touch here, doesn't cost the Flames. Trying to spin through a little bit of traffic. Get a substitution now for Mansfield Christian as Reeds Betchler will check out. See Anderson back into the mix.
Flames with it now. Bump this across. For a slight setup.
Yeah, Anderson was looking to just put her nose down and go straight towards net. Don't mind that. Now great ball here on the near side. Johnson. Back
cross it back.
Raider again.
Just to the left.
Look at Marley here on this back end. The second decent look and as many touches for her. Unable to redirect on frame. Goal kick picked off here by the Flames. Shot from distance taken by Lydia McFadden. Now this one ripped by Lydia. Not close. And be back for a goal kick.
All right, goal kick. Can we get a shot?
More than halfway through this first half. Jackson, what do the numbers tell you?
Well, it's all MCS so far, I gotta say. I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything for Centennial just yet, but I think I could defend that pretty well by saying Mansfield Christian has had the ball for just about the entirety of that first half. MCS already has 12 shots, and they've got 6 of them on net, and they've got 3 corners, and it's just about all I've got. Nothing much else. It's been all Mansfield Christian in this first half, even though they haven't scored yet.
Yeah, the only stat that really matters remains equal as Anderson hits this one right at Sierra Torres. Like a beehive over there, just swarming all around and be trucked out of there.
Have like the greatest, one of the greatest games, one of the greatest games, entertaining games, and then a tie. Like, come on now, we got to figure something out.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, absolutely. I want to jump in and talk about
go
the
ahead.
Colts because I really like
Yes.
the Colts this year, and they did lose to the Rams, but I think they proved in that game that they're going to be legit going down the road. I also got to shout out New England, taking down Carolina convincingly in a 42-13 win, and then maybe to lightly tease the Browns, just the fact that they can be competitive with teams. We saw it last week against the Packers, but once the Lions kind of finally locked in and put the game away, I think the Browns are kind of the team this year where you've got to really put them away and not give them any sort of momentum moving through, because we saw that early in the game. But the Lions were able to get it done and finish things off.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Browns with Andy in a minute, but let's talk about our team, Mr. Langdon. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-1. I think we needed to start 3-1 with the schedule that we have, but going all the way over to Ireland, Pittsburgh pretty much owns the country of Ireland as well. Bunch of Steeler fans there, and we jumped out to a good lead, 21-6 after 3 quarters. But in Pittsburgh Steeler fashion, we can't win running away now, can we?
No, we can't. But I've kind of embraced that as a Steelers fan. Makes things really interesting as we go down the stretch. Shout out to DK on this 80-yard touchdown, which is now the longest touchdown in international NFL history. So kudos to him there. But Pittsburgh, I'm just excited. 3-1 is great. I'll be honest, though, in my prediction in the year, I had Pittsburgh starting out 5-0, and I think we desperately needed a start like this. So that loss is going to haunt us to the Seahawks a couple weeks back. But I loved everything I saw in this game, except for the fact that Jalen Ramsey should have had a touchdown at the very beginning of the game, but very heads-up play by Jordan Mason to touch the ball while he was out of bounds, which I can't refute. It's a rule. It was a very good play by him, even if it wasn't intentional. But Pittsburgh, they're impressing me week after week. I'm excited to see what they do moving forward after this game.
Yeah, and we had a late scratch to Jalen Warren, but Kenneth Gainwell coming over from Philadelphia, 19 carries, 99 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers throwing for 200, 9.1 yards per pass. I mean, DK's long touchdown bumped that up, but just to see the way they played there, and then the defense, again, stepping up in big moments. The defense has just gotten better over the last few weeks, I believe, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. We're starting to see big plays start to surmount not just one big play a game. We're seeing multiple. I loved the interception I saw from J.J. Watt off of the defensive line, getting a deflection and taking it back a little bit. We ended up scoring on that next drive. But I'm also excited for Kenneth Gainwell because he's getting a really good chance as a second-string running back that I really think he deserves. My roommate actually is a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He was telling me that he's excited to see Kenneth Gainwell get the opportunity that he is. He sat on my fantasy football bench. I'm not disappointed at all for not playing him because I had no interest in playing him regardless, even if he did get the start, and I knew that Jalen Warren was going to be out, which I didn't, to be honest, because I woke up late and didn't see that we started at 9:30 yesterday. But I was able to catch the game. Great win for us.
Yeah, and next week we host the Cleveland Browns in that defense. So let's move on to that tough loss in Detroit. The only win Detroit's gotten over Cleveland here in the last few days. But Andy, the Browns, is Joe Flacco like turning back into a pumpkin now? He had 184 passing yards, but 2 bad interceptions. Also, there were some drops as well in this game from the Browns. But they were in it. It's just they shot themselves in the foot.
Were they in it though? I mean, like really? I mean, they do what they do every game under Stefanski. They go down the field on the opening drive because everything's scripted, and they look great, and then they don't do anything the rest of the game, and it's incredibly frustrating. I think trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice with Flacco is probably not going to happen. I will always be grateful for what he gave us a couple years ago. That was one of the most fun seasons I've ever had as a Cleveland Browns fan, because it has just been so miserable for basically my entire existence. But yeah, it's I wouldn't be surprised if we see a shakeup soon. It might just be time to let the young kid come in and see what he can do, and have Flacco mentor him and go from there, because the offense
You're talking
right
about
now.
Shedeur Sanders, right?
Of course, yeah. Why not? Let's see what we can do here. I mean, you got nothing to lose. You're not going anywhere this year. I get it though, because I'm so sick of the revolving door of quarterbacks in Cleveland, and it's like, like we bring in the trendy new pick, and then everybody wants the current guy to fail so we can bring in the new guy. It's just been dysfunction for 30 years now, or whatever it is. But no, the offense is bad. It's painful to watch. You watch other teams, and it's like you're watching a completely different league. I still don't know how they beat the Packers. I really, that was one of the more insane things I've witnessed. Somehow I willed a victory there while I was in attendance, but there's just not a lot of hope with them. And thankfully the Guardians are still playing, so I don't have to worry about the Browns for at least another week.
See, that's the difference with me and you, because I'm a Pirates fan, and we just hope the Pirates are competitive until the Steelers get into training camp. So I know how you feel, but in a different sport, I guess.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Quinshawn Junkins, though? I mean, a strong showing, 21 carries, 82 yards, and he did have that opening touchdown.
Yeah, he scored against Green Bay as well too, down there by the goal line. He's had a couple touchdowns there. I think you got to like what you see so far in a very small sample size against 2 tough opponents. So get him some more reps, and we'll see what he can do. But I like what I've seen so far from him.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Jardy, we're going to let you get off into our green room for a moment, unless you want to talk about high school volleyball. But we'll let you stand by, maybe get a game of GoldenEye or something in there, since one of the few people to beat you was me. But anyway, we'll move it to Jonathan Langdon now, as we want to talk Jonathan's sports, and that is high school volleyball, the host of the block party, Mr. Jonathan Langdon. First off, before we get to that, just how are you feeling 2 weeks into your new show?
I'm feeling fantastic. If you aren't joining me for the block party, you should. It's a fun time. Really enjoy just kind of giving the spotlight that this sport deserves, especially on the girls' side. That tends to get overshadowed by football season. We want to try to keep light on that. Really good time showing some top plays last week, and then just also talking to some real fantastic coaches that we're going to get to talk about here as we break down the final week before tournament draw, which is going to be a really exciting time if you're a volleyball fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I love calling volleyball. Brian's the soccer guy, calling all the soccer matches this year, but you and I really enjoy, now that I've learned some of the lingo, as you see, Brian Skowronski on the call. First half of the girls' side of things, Mansfield Christian up against Centennial, 1-0. That is on our Facebook and our main YouTube right now. Mansfield Christian boys played earlier against Upper Sandusky as well. But back to us, volleyball callers. You had Amber Christie on, I believe, last week's show. I did an interview with her. She's the one that actually taught me the lingo, the yummy ball, the campfire, calls like that. So I want to shout her out once again. But it is a cool moment for us to get some interviews from coaches that you might not see normally on some of these shows. So I like what all you do. You get the big spikes, you get some blocks as well. I saw in there, but everything. Is there anything new that you might be adding in here, or is this what we're going to be seeing here for the next couple weeks? Because it's a very good show.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of tournament talk. My plan, not for this week, but the following week, once the tournament does come out, I want to talk to a couple of those coaches that made some deep playoff runs. So Caitlin Olwire, expect an email soon. Also Angie Kalazewski for St. Paul, two of those teams that we covered all the way to the state Final Four. Both of those teams bowed out early to Calvert and Marlington, correct? Yeah, Marlington was the team that was able to beat Shelby. But just kind of give the rest of the area kind of an idea and just a little glimpse into what the mindset of those teams were as they were making their run. So that should be exciting to do after we cover some brackets of everything that comes out. And these brackets are going to be huge because it's going to determine whether you get a fairly easier path or you're going to have to run into one of those top dogs in the divisions, because it is a very big toss-up how they do things with the volleyball tournament. So I'm excited to break it down.
Well, like you said, on Sunday, the brackets will come. I love a good bracket. I mean, bracketologist Berardi Lenardi here. As we'll also just a little tease on Friday, the Pigskin going to be breaking down some playoff ratings. We're already in week 7. How crazy is that? It isn't, because
and
it's as fast
soon
as 10
enough
weeks,
we're going to be in week 8.
Like
it's just absolutely insane that we are here in this position. Some big games coming up on the football side, big games on the volleyball side as conference play wraps up for both. Those are going to overlap eventually. But yeah, so tournament play, bracketology, as you said, Lenardi. That's a tongue twister. I can't get it.
Bernardi. That's actually people actually mispronounce my last name and call me Bernardi sometimes. So it's not the first time you called me that. But we're talking about brackets will be out on Sunday, but we can't start right now about some of our favorites. So Jonathan, without further ado, who are some teams that you believe right now could make a run? Now we always have Cinderella, a couple teams that go further than you expect or not even know, like Shelby last year. Pulling off a major victory over Highland, getting to the Final Four. We got to go to Dayton to cover them. But not talking about the Cinderellas quite yet, but some teams that you think will make strong showings in the tournament.
Yeah, sure. So I've got 5 knotted down. These are not in no particular order, except I will say I've got a special one at the end, just because of what I think is going to pan out. But I'm going to start out in the KMAC in my realm of the woods. The Centennial Trojans made it to a regional semifinal. They ended up losing in a rough sweep to Coldwater, the team that inevitably won the Division 5 state championship. But they are fresh off of that regional semifinal. They're in a tough district. So if they can get out, they could get a potential big run. And my prediction ultimately is that they're going to make an appearance in the district championship game. Do they make it any further than that? The question's going to be if they can take down some of the top dogs like Fairbanks, Madison Plains, Utica, all in the top 30 in Division 5. Centerburg, according to Max Preps, it is a little loose how Max Prep does it, but Centerburg is ranked 47th in Division 5. So it'll be interesting to see how the Trojans pan out in that sort of realm. Staying in the same district, however, or the same region for Centerburg, we've got to talk about a team that we don't cover a lot on the OH report, but they definitely deserve the respect. 17-0 Pleasant Spartans. They are ranked 10th. They're the best team in that region. And that's a team that, depending on how the draw goes, Centerburg is going to have to run into eventually, whether it's at Granville or it's at the regional site where I'm not sure where that is. But they have made light work of the MOAC so far. Spotless, 11-0. They lost in 3 sets they've only lost 3 sets all season, which is spectacular when you're looking at that team, and they're really young as well. Centerburg with the KMAC that we know a little bit more about, they're also very young, but this team is young. 8 juniors, 3 sophomores, and they are all big pieces to what they do. They made the state championship game last year, and my prediction is, hey, why not make another one? I don't see any reason where they could not get right back to where they were a season ago.
I mean, Cam Cockrell, one of the best kills leaders, one of the best swingers in North Central Ohio, 312 kills. She has a 57.9 kill percentage, and she's hitting 466. Those all 3 are probably the best in North Central Ohio, at least, and probably one of the best in the state.
Yeah, 400 kills her freshman season, 500 her sophomore. She surpassed 1,000 early on in this season. She's going to be a big piece to them. Of course, she's just a junior too, so even if they don't make the state championship this year, they're going to have her back next year. They'll be loaded up for another chance at another potential run. So Pleasant, love what they do. Would love to cover you guys if you're interested in having us cover your playoff run this year. But let's move on to number 3, another team that we get to see quite a bit. Or I guess I don't get to see them, but our good partner Josh Banks gets to see them at length. The Buckeye Central Buckettes in Division 6 really intrigue me. 13-4 coming into today, 9-1 in the N10. They lead outright in that league right now that is really stacked. And they've got capable attackers on all sides, which is, I think, something that was different from last year. They've got AJ Jury, Megan Seifert. I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. Melania Chamberlain is a new freshman for them.
Yes.
But they're all going to be capable attackers around that star setter, Marin McDougal, who we got to talk to on the podcast last week. And I know for sure they're going to be hungry. You talked about Cinderellas last year. New London was one of those, taking down Buckeye Central in a district championship game. So I think the Buckeye Central Buckettes bounce back. They've had some tight losses this year. One of my favorite statistics to look at is how do you do in high set matches. So in 5-set matches, they're able to get to 5 quite a bit, and are able to perform well at the end of games. So that is a recipe for success in the tournament. My prediction is that the Buckettes will play for a regional championship. We'll see where it goes from there.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, Buckettes,
So-
I had them in that district championship match last year. And, McDougal's sister, Marin's sister, Mara, is now playing at my alma mater, Wheeling University. She's already getting quality playing time down there in Division II. So, that's a school that, produces big players. And, it was just a Cinderella run by New London last year that ended against New Bremen in the next round, but nobody was going to beat New Bremen pretty much that season. But, yeah, Buckeye Central, I'll actually be on the call Tuesday with Josh, next week for a big one for them. But yeah, Buckeye Central, I think they have the experience from a year ago coming back that they have a chance of doing so. But you're going to stay in the Northern 10 here because there's a team led by Biz Klopp, one of the best names in the Northern 10, and Mohawk.
Not just one of the best names, one of the best players. She is fantastic. So the Mohawk Warriors, I got to talk, if you have been joining us on the block party, I got to talk to Eric Hoover for a little short bit as we spotlighted the N10. And he's really excited about where this team is at. Believes that his girls are finally back on track after a rough week. 3 of their 4 losses this season, I think this is an important stat to note. 3 of their 4 losses came within 9 days of each other. So they just got in a really bad rut that they have since been able to break out of. And even when you look at that rut, the 3 teams they lost to Buckeye Central, they lost to Cary, and they lost to a really tough Tiffin Columbian team. So those are all very respectable losses. They've played a great schedule this year. When it comes to their tournament run, I am a little bit concerned because it will depend on their placement, because the Warriors, they have one roadblock in their way in Division 7, and that's
Number
Tiffin
1 team.
Calvert, team that made it to the state championship. So Calvert's going to be a big piece. I believe New Bremen has also dropped down to Division 7, so they'll also be in that area as well. So my prediction for the Warriors, I think they certainly reach a district championship with the potential to reach the regional tournament as well, depending on where they are drawn up on Sunday.
Good news, New Bremen's the number 1 team in D6 according to the polls, so they stayed up. But yeah, Calvert's the number 1 team in Division 7, but Monroeville Mohawk getting some votes. They also had a 5-set victory over Monroeville, your next team, a team I've gotten to see. And, if it wasn't for a couple errors in their numbers last year, they would have been in D7. They would have been probably playing St. Paul for a district championship, and then probably it was either them or St. Paul playing in that Final Four against Calvert. But the Lady Eagles, number 6 in Division 7, they're looking pretty darn good. They already have wins against Seneca East. They have wins against St. Paul as well, and it seems like they're on a roll, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. A team I haven't gotten to see very much of, but I still am very high on them. We've seen these seniors now pretty much grow up in the program, and here they are now coming off of a regional semifinal loss to Tenora in a really tough game. I just feel something in the air about these Monroeville Lady Eagles, Madison Reber, Addie Adams, Alexa Adams. Entire offense is going to be playing for their careers in this tournament run.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the twist I was telling you about at the end. I see Monroeville lifting a state title.
Yeah, Monroeville is, they're ready to go. Coach Kendra Snook, that's another name that you might want to talk to on the show, but they're 15-2, 4 sets to Bellevue, 5 sets to Mohawk. Before that Seneca East match, she said, you know what, they're a tough team. I don't know if we're going to have to compete with them. And then their next match was against St. Paul. She said, St. Paul's really good. They went to the Final Four. I don't know how we're going to match up with them. They swept. Her team swept both teams. Very competitive matches, but they swept both teams. So I think, coach speak, not, saying we're going to defeat a team, but Kendra Snook has a very, very good squad at Monroeville, and it seems like they're going to be on live and free against St. Paul. St. Paul trying to get back into the Firelands Conference chase, but it seems like Monroeville is going to get another number under that banner, and then the number 1 seed, and it looks like we'll have a third times the charm match against St. Paul in the district. And again, I think the winner of that district probably makes it out of that region as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then a couple of honorable mentions. I do want to bring up Highland, still a fantastic team in the MOAC. I think they'll have potential for a pretty big run as well. Sticking with the MOAC as well for Ontario. They're 11-7 on the season, but they are a sneaky contender. They're 3rd in the MOAC. They're 8-3 right now in the conference. They have played some tough teams, so they're battle tested. We'll see what they do moving forward in the tournament. So those Lady Warriors could be someone to look out for, but also the best player probably in Richland County is Ava Brown. So you've got to throw in that team, the Lexington Lady Lex, for a chance at a run as well.
Yeah, I like Lexington with Brown back, Tatum Stover as well. The two of them have about 500 combined kills so far this season, but it's just the two of them. Some of these other teams that you talked about, Jonathan, there's 3-4 players that have over 100 kills. Lexington, they have 2. The third, Temple and Thornton, both have 45 and 46, but the other teams we've seen have 3-4 leaders that can get you the kill, and that's what you're going to need when you get into the tournament, because teams can focus on maybe 1 or 2, but if you have 3 or 4, then it spreads things out.
Yeah, absolutely. So want to try to have as much depth as you can, and that's why I'm so high on Buckeye Central. I just feel like they've got that compared to what they were in last year. A couple of the other teams that we talked about, Monroeville with all of their seniors. Pleasant, always fantastic, even though they do have that top player. Is it Cockrell? Did I say it right?
Cockrell. Yeah, Cam Cockrell.
Yeah, Cockrell. So, yeah, she's a fantastic player. She's got some pieces around her as well. And then my final shout-out goes to Kennedy Goon from Crestview, who has her Lady Cougars rolling right now, kind of in a position that we did not expect to see Crestview in so early. I know they've got some great young pieces there, but they're starting to materialize quicker. Just one of those Crestview greats coming in, taking over the reins, and here she is having them in the conversation when it comes to Sunday and seeing where they end up.
Yeah, and I'll actually have them tomorrow night, live and free on the OH Report. Yeah, she's got an impressive squad. I mean, the player that she was, just coming back out of college, coming onto the coaching ranks, she put up records at Crest. You might as well teach that, and she's one heck of a coach. And yeah, if you want to watch, Jonathan interviewed her last week on the Block Party. You can watch that anytime on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Any teases of what's going to be on the party on Thursday?
None. I'm not giving anything away. You're going to have to go tune in. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Just know the tournament will be involved, but that's not all we're going to be doing.
That's what you call a cliffhanger as well as a tease. Jonathan Langdon, he's going to stay with us here momentarily. But first, now it is time to talk some football. We had some great plays on Friday night, as well as some phenomenal athletes out there. It is now time for the Week 6 Friday night Phenominees. Andy Jardy's so excited he left his seat for it. But roll those Phenominees.
Time now for your Week 6 Friday Night Phenoms, presented to you by Spherion Mid-Ohio. Just like Eminem, Brayton DeVito is back again as a Phenominee with another phenomenal performance, amassing 258 total yards of offense against River Valley with 5 total touchdowns. 3 on the ground and 2 through the air, as he has already reached double-digit scores not only rushing but passing as well, while already breaking 1,500 yards of all-purpose through 6 weeks. That is Mr. Football nominee numbers right there. Our second nominee will be going up against Mr. DeVito in Week 7, but on Friday night, Nash Evans would not be kept out of the end zone for Clear Fork as he caught 3 passes for 126 yards and 2 scores, a cool 42 yards per reception. He also showed off the speed from the backfield and running in another score as the Colts are 5-1 ahead of a first-place battle with Shelby. Nom Nom number 3 has his squad 5-1 as well in the MOAC as Galleon quarterback Aiden Schmidt is back with another nomination after a 4-touchdown performance. He went 17 of 25 passing for 328 yards and 3 scores, while also running in another as he surpasses the 1,000-yard mark through the air this season with 15 total touchdowns. Welcome back to the field, Mr. Hayden McFadden. Our 4th nominee made his first appearance since Week 3 and showed out for the homecoming crowd at Hillsdale, catching his first 2 balls for scores, finishing the game with 5 grabs for 112 yards and the 2 touchdowns, as the Falcons prevailed over Smithville in a battle of 5-0 teams. To another homecoming game for nominee number 5 is Crestview's Carter Goon not only was named king, but he was king of the defensive backfield with 3 tackles for loss against Plymouth. But he wasn't done there. He also hauled in a touchdown reception as the Cougars danced their way to a 4th consecutive victory and first place in the Firelands Conference. Nominee number 6 also had his squad in first place as the bowling ball that is Carson Barnum continues to knock down defenders, running the ball 35 times for 181 yards and 3 scores against East Knox as he surpasses the 1,000-yard mark this season to retake the KMAC rushing lead and quite possibly the area rushing mark as well. Our final nominee has officially set up camp in the Phenoms as Nolan Burley is here once again after another head-turning performance. 15 carries, 187 yards, and 3 scores. That's a phenomenal 12.5 yards per carry as the Golden Eagles run their season win streak against teams not named Bishop Watterson to 17 games. There are your 7 nominees. It is now time to cast your vote with the winner being announced on Friday's episode of The Pigskin, and it is all brought to you by Spherion Mid-Ohio.
And as always, double dip. You have until the end of the show to put your votes in, and it will count towards 2 votes for your winner. But not only do we have fee nominees, we have top plays. Mr. Langdon took over the reins as Mr. Skowronski's out on the soccer pitch. So Jonathan now has your top play nominees from Week 6.
Another week, another showcase of our top plays captured by OH Report cameras, this time recapping a star-studded Week 6 of action. Coming out of the gates hot, Shelby's Braden DeVito opens up our countdown. Watch him put the first defender on skates and quickly morph into a human Beyblade. Not just 1, but 2 spin cycles helps the Air Force commit open up the runway for the final 6 in the Whippets' convincing win over River Valley. Sticking with the MOAC as Galleon's Cohen Adams appears to be brought down just short of another Tiger touchdown until the senior finds a little bit more gas in the tank to push forward to the end zone on this remarkable second effort. This score would help add to Galleon's rout of Highland at home. Firelands action up north as Colton Clark fakes out a few Rough Riders, and they always say it takes 2 to tango. Well, Colton Clark made sure that Western Reserve defender had the last dance. The stutter step frees up the Eagle enough to fly towards the pylon as Monroeville becomes one of just 2 remaining unbeatens in the Firelands Conference. To Jeromesville we go as, watch out, Cale Lewis frees himself outside of the pocket to absolutely launch this ball on the run to Hayden McFadden for their second connection of the contest. Look again. The new record holder at the Falcons' Nest puts this on the money as he welcomes back his favorite receiver with a second touchdown in as many catches. Say it with me, everyone. Punters are people too. We continue our countdown with Plymouth's Lincoln Distal, who places this boot right at the 15, but he wasn't done there. Boom! Lincoln lays down the law as he jars this ball loose from Crestview's Max Durbin. Hey, Pat, this one's for the brand, baby. Marion Harding was looking for a shift in momentum coming out of the halftime break, but instead it was the Colts, who put a perfect punch on the football, jarring it loose for Marcus Hoflick to pounce on as he completes the scoop and score. Let's stick around the Colt Corral and play a fun game of how many presidents touch Nash Evans on this kickoff return? How about none? Evans looked to be shot out of a cannon as he takes this into pay dirt for Clear Fork. I'll tell you, we've run out of exhibit letters to show you why Nolan Burley is getting high praise from Division I coaches. The kid is simply unstoppable. Watch him break through and turn on the afterburners, leaving the Bruins behind as he rushes in this 62-yarder, one of his 3 touchdowns on the night for Big Walnut. The reservation is riding high after being crowned with the play of Week 5. Can they run it back this week? Well, Cole Fricky is going to take it to the air this time as he connects with his backup, Wyatt Long, who takes it and wins the foot race to trigger the Mount Gilead Light Show. The party didn't stop there as the Indians scored 39 unanswered points to bury the Bulldogs from East Knox. While the final result wasn't all too pleasant for the Spartans, this play surely put some smiles on those pleasant faithful as Weston Schaefer wraps up our countdown using every inch of the football field to skate past Ontario on his way to a 90-yard keeper. The Spartan marched his way in for 6, leaving both the Warriors and our camera focus in the dust. And that was your top 10 countdown here on the OH Report. Leave a comment down below. Let us know who reigns supreme as the best play from Week 6.
And Mr. Langdon, what can you do until the end of the show? Or as I could say, Mr. Burns. But yeah, go ahead.
I've been practicing this all day. You can double dip.
There we go. Yes.
Double dip.
Yes,
Put a
very
comment
good.
down.
Also welcoming back in another a fan of The Simpsons, Mr. Andy Jardy. Yes. Welcome back, sir. Before we get to what we all wanted to really talk about today, update, since there's 2 Monday Night Football games going on. We're in the second quarter already between the Jets and the Dolphins. Dolphins leading 10-0 with 4:30 to go. Gentlemen, any wagers on these games tonight?
Nope. I didn't get home until literally right when we went on the air here. I didn't have a chance to
I'm
even
not
look at
touching
anything.
Jets
I took
Dolphins
tonight
with a
off.
10-foot pole.
How about
Yeah.
over the weekend? Did you? I actually it was a very successful weekend. I'm not giving out Yin's bets because it seems like Yin's bets curses me. But any other bet I make pretty much won this weekend. Any success for you guys?
So I put a anytime touchdown parlay. I never expect to win them. I just put them down for fun. So I had my first 3 touchdowns hit in the first quarter. So I was 3 for 7 going in, and then absolutely nothing happened from there. So it was heartbreak yesterday, much more than usual because I am usually way off, but I actually had a little bit of hope last week.
Andy?
I cashed 2 futures on the Guardians to win the Central and to make the postseason that I placed in July. So I was very happy to turn $15 into like 160. So that'll do.
Was that posted on July 8th when you made that bet?
July 24th was when I placed the Central $5 bonus bet that I had. So didn't place it right on July 8th, but gave it a little bit of time to sort of steady out, and could see Detroit start to slip a little bit. And I was like, why not? Let's we got nothing to lose here.
Now you're rolling in the pennies.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we do want to
Miracle
talk
gods.
about what the Baseball Night in America folks called after the hit by pitch against Texas, the Miracle Guardians.
Yeah.
Have you been able to wrap your head around this yet, guys? The fact that they were 15 and a half games out on July 8th. Like, they made a trade. Bieber's gone. Like, what's going on here?
You can't spell miracle without CLE. It has been that kind of run for this Cleveland Guardians team, and I've loved watching every step of it. It's been fantastic to see the Tigers also with an all-time collapse. We definitely can't rule that out as well because this is definitely as much about the Tigers letting this slip away as it is us coming back. But with all of the cards that are kind of being dealt now to Cleveland, you've just got to feel good about this postseason run because I was talking about it before the show. We're not supposed to be here. Whatever happens, happens, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's definitely improbable. I've run out of adjectives and words to describe like how they won these games down the final stretch here. And I just thought the last two games were so symbolic of what this team did. Like you win on a walk-off hit by pitch, you win on a walk-off home run off the foul pole. I mean, it's just they've run out of ways to just like to win games. It's incredible. When they clinched the playoff spot Saturday night on the walk-off hit by pitch, I just laughed. I had no other reaction or emotion than just like uncontrollable laughter because I literally cannot believe the moments that this team is giving us, and it's just so much fun to just enjoy the ride. And I know everyone puts stock in the playoffs, and you should. Like obviously we won a championship so bad, but this is why the baseball regular season is so fun too, because the moments this team has given us over the last month and a half, I'll remember forever. And win or lose in the postseason, like this run here is up there with some of the greatest Cleveland moments. It's truly remarkable.
Well, let's not only this run, but let's recap the last 5 days because, well, first off here, this is what's coming up. Tomorrow, 1:08 p.m., first pitch on ESPN. Guards, Tigers.
Thanks, Boston.
It's
Thanks,
just,
Yankees.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, right. Like it seems like every series, it's gonna be a 1:00 start early on for the Guardians. But let's recap, get some video of the last 5 days. Opening game of the series, Guardians need this to tie for the division against Scuba of all people, and they play small ball to take the lead here. Andy,
this is the craziest inning I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's up there. They oddly enough had another inning against Detroit a couple years ago where Detroit dropped a third strike and it led to like a 6-run inning. So that one kind of jumps into my memory too. But like Skubal snapping the ball into the outfield was not something I ever thought I would see happen. And it just, you could tell Detroit was tight. They were nervous about blowing this thing. And I really think in the last couple days after Cleveland caught them, you saw the Guardians play very tight and were worried about letting it slip away. I thought the last couple games, the offense was really, really struggling to get guys on or to get guys in once they got on base. But hey, then you see Hosey doing Hosey things. They're getting Skubal the ball. It all unraveled for Detroit here in this game. And that was the most guards ball inning you're ever going to see.
Yeah, that balk is really where I started to feel a shift, and I just had a feeling that we were going to come away with the win after seeing Skubal slip up like that. Then he gets taken out, and the Guardians continue to start pouncing on the relievers. Just a really special scenes in this game specifically. This is the one that I always call back to after a win like this, and just what happened moving forward with the Rangers series that I know we'll talk about here momentarily.
Yeah, right to it.
Yeah,
bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, nobody on. And they worked the magic once again.
Yeah, they had an incredible stretch. One of the big reasons that they are playing in the postseason and are division champions, their offense with 2 outs since September 5th was like the best in baseball. They scored 50 runs over the course of the last month with 2 outs, which was far and away the best in baseball. And interesting decision to intentionally walk there because you just narrowed your window to get out of that inning. And it leads to an instance like that where you hit a batter and you're going to lose the game, or if you throw a wild pitch or walk him, the Guards are going to win that game. So interesting decision there by Bruce Bochy. And as soon as Kafis came up, I literally was saying out loud, please just get hit by a pitch. Just get hit by a pitch. And it happened. We won, clinched the postseason berth with that win, and then obviously winning the division yesterday thanks to the Red Sox winning. And can you imagine had Detroit won earlier, and then that's how Cleveland ended up winning the division? Like that would have been unreal. But yeah, so now we get to see the Tigers again for the 3rd time in 3 weeks, and it's going to be Skubal again, and it's going to be Gavin Williams again. I have no expectations for this series. We're here, we got in. Honestly, whatever happens, happens. I'm just glad it's going to happen in Cleveland.
Well,
But to
before
be
we
quite
get
honest,
to this series,
that hit
go
by
ahead, Jonathan.
pitch, that hit by pitch, it was a win-win for the Rangers because, for one, they lose the game, but they're already out. But they also eliminate the Astros in the process. So what are we thinking there?
Hey,
I would love to know. Yeah, I would love to know how AJ Blueball felt toeing the rubber that night, growing up a Cleveland fan, knowing that his performance was going to come into play if the Guardians made the postseason or not. So I was very curious thinking about his thought process going into that start.
And can we talk about Mr. Blueball and his performance up in the majors?
Oh my gosh!
I mean, so awesome.
Yeah, incredible what he was able to do this year, and the future is so bright for him, and I'm just excited to continue to watch him grow.
Yeah, absolutely. 1.69 ERA, 3-1 on the season, pitched 11 games, 35 Ks, 11 walks. He's susceptible to the long ball. Of course, 2 of the 6 he gave up were in his opening start, but he has been fantastic. I know Framber Valdez is a free agent now for the Astros, so there could be room for AJ to move up in that rotation. So I'm excited to see what the Astros decide to do, because missing the playoffs, they may have to rewrite some things and figure out where they want to go as a team after missing.
Yeah. Before we get to this series coming up starting tomorrow, I want to take you back and just show you some of the marks, the path the Guardians took. On the 8th, like I said, 15 and a half games back. The 22nd, they got it down to 9. You're thinking, okay, but then they go on a slip. They go 15 and 16 the next month, and they're back to 12 and a half out. You're like, oh, that was a nice run. But then they go on another one where they go 9 and 4, and then 5 and 1, and then 6 and 1, and just like that, their Central Division. I mean, it's just phenomenal at all these points where they started, but then they slipped again. You're thinking, oh, it was just a little bit, that heat you feel before you succumb to hypothermia.
Spit it out. You got
Thompson.
it.
But it's that little heat that you get before it ends it. But then they bounce back and then go on another run after the 26th of August and have a September to remember, and now they're going to have an October to remember.
Yeah, it's incredible what they were able to do here down the stretch too, and like Jonathan had mentioned too, this paired with Detroit's collapse makes it that much sweeter, because if Detroit just plays 400 baseball, 300 baseball,
yeah,
they're the division champs. We're going there instead of them coming here. But they literally could not win games when it mattered, which made this even the more improbable for it to happen. They lost 5 of 6 to the Guardians. They couldn't win series against the Marlins. They couldn't win series against someone else. The Braves came in and swept them, which we saw the Braves come into Cleveland and do the same thing as well too. But they literally could not beat teams, and it was just unbelievable to see this team that everyone crowned. They did all the things right. And then you started to look at this lineup, and everything gets magnified when you're not hitting. Everything just looks so much worse. But this offense, you look at that lineup, and you're like, who in that lineup? This is a very beatable lineup to pitch around. And when they're not hitting, you can see why the skids happen. But I'm a little worried. Javi Baez has come back into the lineup. He started to get hot there down the stretch. He could be a big factor here in this series.
Yeah, the Tigers lost their last 5 series of the season. That's absolutely huge, especially looking at the teams you played. You played the Braves, who did not have a great year. You played the Marlins, who didn't have a very great year. You played the Guardians twice in a situation where you had to win those games to secure the division. And then you take on a Red Sox team. That one I can forgive because Red Sox were hungry for playoff seeding. But all of those other series, if you're Detroit, you cannot let those slip, especially taking on the Marlins, the Braves. Just an ultimate collapse at the very end of the season, mind you, where the Tigers just now all they can really hope to do is make it a moot point, to quote Tom Hamilton, and take down the Guardians in this series. But it's going to be tough on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be. But one more note before we get here, just the miracle, I guess that you call it. So I put miracle guards down there. Just throw up a picture of the most amount of games back that somebody's had to come back. The Guardians have it. 15.5 games is the most in the division. Also, before they had it, they just had teams play for the pennant. It was 15 games. So this is the biggest comeback by any team in Major League history. 78, Thurman Munson, Akron native. They came back. They ended up winning the World Series that year in 78 with that. The 2012 Oakland A's, the 95 Mariners, who were playing to keep their team in Seattle, came back and beat the Angels on the last day. They did lose to the Indians at the time in the ALCS. They did have that big win against the Yankees, though, in the DS. And then you see the Twins in 06, and then the 73 Mets. Not the Miracle Mets, that was 69, but the 73 Mets who caught my Pittsburgh Pirates to win that division. But, I mean, forever, I don't see this getting broken anytime soon. This is going to go up, like you said, with the winning streak, things like that. The Guardians are just rewriting history.
Yeah, they really did. And they're also repeating or trying to add to some history as well, too, because they finished with a negative run differential for the season at -6. They're the first American League team to make the playoffs in a full season with a negative run diff since the 1987 World Series champion Minnesota Twins, who did it with -20. There are a lot of weird parallels and statistics that Guardians haven't done something like this since a World Series team did it. I believe this was the most walk-offs they had in a season since 2016. There's a lot of strange things happening where it's like, are they going to go on a run? Like, is this actually going to happen? There's all these weird statistics that seem to favor them. And if they are to do it, it's going to be one heck of a run, because that series looming in the well, first you got to get through the wild card. Let's not discredit having to play Detroit again. But if you happen to get through that, then you're going out to Seattle and that fan base that is so hungry to have a postseason run. That'll be a really tough matchup. And Mr. Josh Naylor happens to be waiting for you there too. So that could be fun.
Well, maybe I need to bring us back to earth with the statistic, because it feels like you guys are bringing up some really good statistics. But the important thing to note is this Guardians team, while they've had a great run, they're not the greatest team, especially offensively. This is the third lowest team batting average in a regular season to make the postseason. And an interesting stat as well with that is that the Guardians in the 2020s now have 3 of those 5 worst batting average records. So the offense has been the same these last couple of years, and it's let us down consistently. Will it do it again? We're going to figure that out. But just the offense has been rough. Pitching was fantastic. We didn't even get to talk about that in this run.
Yeah.
The fact that the stat was 19 straight starts where the pitchers gave up less than 2 runs, or 2 runs or less, one of the two. But yeah, so
that's right.
In offense, we've got to figure it out.
Well, let's talk about the pitching, because Gavin, Tanner, and Slade are probably going to be our top 3 pitchers. And let me break down some of these stats in their last 15 games each. Gavin Williams, 7-2 in his last 15 games, only 9 earned runs, 16 walks, 46 strikeouts. Tanner Bybee, 8-3 in his last 15, 80 Ks, 28 walks, only 45 earned runs. And then Slade, he's 4-4 in his last 15, but he's got 67 Ks, 18 walks, 46 earned runs. And the bigger stat, these 3 played against Detroit. 2 of them pitched 3 times, Bybee and Williams. Slade pitched twice. They have a combined 6-1 record against the Tigers. Slade gave up 3 runs in those 2 games. Tanner in 3 games, 2 earned runs. Gavin, 2 earned runs. And Gavin and Tanner over 20 strikeouts combined in those 3 games. Slade in 2 games, 11 strikeouts. So you have the 3 that can be set up against this Tigers lineup.
Well, if we were playing in Double-A and you went by halves of seasons, Gavin Williams would be a Cy Young winner. This last stretch of the season, it's been fantastic watching him improve consistently as he's become the reliable guy. Ever since they traded Bieber is kind of where it shifted for Gavin Williams to really go on a heck of a run. Bybee's stepping up as well. I really like Slade Ciccone. I think it's going to be really fun if we do play the Mariners and we get to see Slade Ciccone go up against Josh Naylor, the 2 players that were traded for each other, see who ends up technically, quote-unquote, winning the trade. But yeah, so shout out Gavin Williams. Shout out the entire pitching staff. Our bullpen, Cade Smith stepping up as our new closer. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to be so huge in this postseason. I'm excited to see how this team develops.
And there's no substitute for playoff experience. So whatever happens here, this team is so young. They're going to get an entirely different atmosphere. Although I will say the last couple games here had the playoff atmosphere for it.
Yes.
So they at least got a little bit of a taste of it. But, I mean, all these guys are going to be back next year. So you're starting to build something. You've got Jose there. Jose just continues to be unbelievable. He owns the Tigers, by the way, too, in his career. He's got some ridiculous numbers there as well. And yeah, the starting pitching, they just have to keep these games close. And that's what they've been able to do for the last couple months. It's why they finished with a negative run differential, though, for the season, because they'd win a lot of close games, but then you'd see a game where they'd lose 12-2 or 10-0 or something. So over the course of the year, that's how they ended up with that negative run diff. But hey, their bullpen is fantastic. The Tigers bullpen is shaky. If you can get into that Tigers bullpen, you've got a very good chance of finding come back and win that game. You just have to keep it close. Don't get behind big to Scooble and find a way to win game one, and then you're in really good shape to win this series.
Well, let's talk about the offensive side of things. I got some names here for you in their last 15 games. Let's start off with Mr. Jose. Hopefully they're chanting that a lot in at least the next two games. In his last 15, 291 batting average, 16 hits, 2 homers, 8 RBI, 12 runs, 9 walks, and 7 stolen bases. We'll just start right there. Jose Ramirez, when they needed him most down this stretch, once again has provided.
Yeah, and against Detroit this year, he batted .347, 7 extra base hits, 10 RBI, 10 runs in 13 games. He had another 30 season, and then had 44 steals to go on top of that. So, yeah, it's just incredible what he's been able to do. And yeah, this the postseason has been a little tricky for him, though. I will say he has had some struggles in the postseason where sometimes I think he might be pressing or trying to do a little too much. We'll see how he is going into this year's postseason.
Yeah, and then I also want to spotlight Stephen Kwan.
Yep.
Rougher
next
ends to the season for him. I think we're going to need him to step up because the offense desperately needs somebody to step up, and who's most likely to do that? Stephen Kwan. And then also, Travis, sorry not to step on your own shoes here, but there is somebody waiting in the wings that now that we have made the postseason, he could be available, a right fielder in Chase DeLauder, who I've gotten to see plenty of times in Columbus, hit some great balls, come up clutch in a lot of situations with the Clippers. Of course, the postseason is a different animal, but Chase DeLauder is an exciting name to keep an eye out for.
Yep,
baptism by fire, baby.
Pick. Go ahead, Andy.
I was just saying baptism by fire. Throw him in there. I mean, look at Jonathan Rodriguez on this homestand here against the Rangers. Oh, David Fry's out. Yeah, we're going to bat Jonathan Rodriguez cleanup. And everyone's like, Vogt, what are you doing? And all he does is reward you with some big hits and home runs. Like, Vogt is a sorcerer. And every time I question his moves, it seems to work out. So he's earned his decision making for sure.
Hey, hats off to David Fry. He gave his body up to just rattle Scooble in that game, because right after that, the wild pitch, really gave the Guardians the lead that game, and then they had to go to the bullpen. But here's something. Should he make the Guardians postseason roster and appear in a game, DeLauder would join an exclusive group of players to make their debut in the postseason. No player has debuted in the postseason since the 2020 pandemic season, when Alex Krylov of the Twins, McClanahan of the Rays, and Ryan Weathers of the Padres did so.
It's a nice stat. Those are some names.
Yeah, aren't they? Maybe he can join them. Another name I think needs to come up big once again. His nickname is Christmas. Mr. Noel. In his last 15 games, he's been hitting .250, 6 hits, 3 of those are homers, all solo shots. He has 5 runs, 1 walk, 12 Ks. If he can get another big hit or 2 like he did in the postseason last year, that's just going to be key for this squad, because you got the likes also of Kyle Manzardo. He's hitting .200 over the last 15 games, has a homer. But a big name that really needs to get going, and he did get a big double in that first opening game of the series against the Tigers at home last week, was Schneemann. Only 8 hits in all of September, 23 strikeouts. If he can get going, that just adds to the lineup.
And I think
absolutely.
Team in general, sorry, Jardy, but I think this team in general has so many question marks of players. Oh man, they could show out. They could definitely be a huge piece to this. but most of the time, we got to remember this is a 230 offense. We're not going to see everybody live up to that potential. So it's going to be huge because another piece we would need to talk about is the guy who walked us off to end the regular season, Brian Rocchio, who had a fantastic postseason last year, if you can recall. He needs to make a comeback. There's just so many question marks on this team that I'm concerned that we're not going to get enough of them to show out, along with Jose and Stephen Kwan as well.
I think it helps you're playing a team you've seen a lot recently. So I think these guys are going to feel, and Detroit's going to feel the same way, honestly, about like, oh, we know what we're getting when we face Cleveland. So they're going to be tight games. They're going to be nerve wracking. I don't know. I had a doctor's appointment today, and they checked my blood pressure, and it was high. And I don't think it's fair to check my blood pressure this time of the year. Like, there should just be a pass, okay? Like, hey, there's some things going on that I'm emotionally invested in that are going to clearly spike those numbers. But I mean, these games are always close. I do think too, it's interesting. I remember when I was working the Guardians game against the Tigers, that series. I believe the Guardians, in all 8 of their wins against Detroit this year, scored 3 or more runs. They lost every game where they scored fewer than that. So if the Guardians can get to 3 runs, that's kind of where you feel good about their chances of beating Detroit.
Can they get the Scooble 3 straight times in 3 straight weeks?
Oh, God, it's going to be tough, but sure, why not? You know, with this team, I'm just like, you know what? Why not? Let's go. The comebacks, the history they've created, I'm along for the ride, and whatever happens, happens. They don't even have to get to him, you know? You just have to be within striking distance, get him out of the game in the 6th inning and 7th inning, and hope you can get to that Tigers bullpen.
My only question will be, what other ways can we invent to win baseball games in the postseason? We're just going to find some loophole to take down the Tigers in at least one of these games in the series. It's going to be crazy to watch. I look forward to seeing a 1-1 game go into the 9th and things get really tight. But that's what we signed up for as Cleveland Guardians fans these last 5 years. It's going to be a fun time.
You may not know us, but we're a Major League Baseball team. It really honestly feels like Major League. And instead of playing the Yankees in the divisional, they're playing, the Tigers, but close enough for there. Before we get out of here, or Andy, you have something to say before we get to our predictions?
I was just going to say, I meant to go back and confirm this because I know Smoltz said it on the broadcast, but I believe Cleveland was 15 games out in the movie Major League. So we are literally like living that movie right now. It's just wild.
Adam Thompson will be checking for that for us right now, but let's get into predictions. Jonathan first, is this going to be a 2-game sweep, or are we going to be getting a Game 3 on Thursday?
This has all the makings for a Game 3 on Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm all for it. I think Cleveland pounces out and gets a real gutty win to start things, and then we start to see Detroit open things up. I think it's going to go the opposite of how people expect it. They think Tarek Skubal is going to come out, pitch a gem, and the Tigers are going to pounce in front. I think the opposite is going to happen, to where Cleveland wins, and they just have all this confidence going into Game 2, and it gets squashed by a bullpen effort from the Tigers, and we see a real interesting Game 3 decision from both managers.
Andy?
Interesting. I'm just processing all that. I think if you win Game 1, there's no way Cleveland loses Game 2. But I don't know if Cleveland wins Game 1. So I'm leaning towards this going 3 games and potentially losing Game 1 and then winning the next 2. Would kind of be where my mind is at. But boy, it would be nice to just win tomorrow, and then I'd feel a lot better about everything.
So Game 1, it's going to go into extra innings. Detroit's going to use their bullpen up. Mr. Noel's going to hit a walk-off, and that's it. 2 games. And if there is a Game 3, the other series is going to go only 2, and this game's going to get moved into the evening, and they're going to be playing under the lights at Progressive Field, where the Guardians are going to just completely dominate and move on to Seattle. That's my prediction.
If we're going that deep, I think my Game 1 analysis to kind of explain my thought process is that Skubal's going to pitch, and he's going to pitch a lot. I think they're going to keep him into the 8th, and they're going to regret that decision, and he's going to give up 3 or 4 runs, and that's going to be the decisive play that gives Guardians that first game. And then second game, it's going to be a combined effort. I think Bybee gets hit early, and we are forced into a bullpen situation in game 2. And then game 3, all bets are off. And like I said, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it because this is what we signed up for, coming back from 15 and a half games down. We wanted to be in the postseason. We wanted moments like this, and whatever happens, happens. We've said that multiple times on this show, but it couldn't be more true.
So it has been confirmed the Indians in Major League were 15 games out before they went on the montage where we remove a piece. So, I mean this is life imitating art that is Major League One. And everybody, I'm telling you now, get ready. Go watch Major League tonight because it's perfect. Like, watch it and then watch the end of Major League 2 where they win the ALCS. Just saying.
Okay. We all have homework tonight. It's good homework.
Paramount Plus, everybody get there.
I actually have the DVDs.
Oh,
4K
okay.
physical steelbook, baby. That's what I've got. Let's go. Long live physical media.
All right. Can we have one more check-in on Brian Skowronski's match if it's still going on? It's still going on, but it's 8? Oh. Well, we're not going to show it because of the score. It's 8-1 Mansfield Christian over Centennial.
Oh,
so we'll just we'll keep that for the adults that want to watch.
Yeah, that's a way to bounce back.
It's on our Facebook and YouTube pages. But gentlemen, any final words before we get out of here and try to get some sleep before Game 1 tomorrow?
Jonathan? Oh, you're pointing to me? Just enjoy the ride. I mean, this team has given us so much joy in the last couple of weeks. It's just been such a fun run. You never know what a baseball season is going to give you. I, multiple times this year, wrote this team off, said how they were my least favorite team in recent memory. There were stretches I just could not watch them. There were stretches I could not watch this team because it was so bad. I went to 2 games on a homestand against the Blue Jays and the Cardinals. The Guardians scored 0 runs, threw the ball all over the field, looked like a high school team. And for them to find a way to completely flip the script is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. So I'm ready. I'm going to be sadly working all week, so I'm not going to be able to go to any of these wild card games, but I'll see you all there for the ALDS Game 3.
Absolutely.
Jonathan?
And I echo everything that Jardy just said about the Cleveland Guardians, but I do want to circle back and remind everybody that we are a high school sports media outlet, and we've got a really special Friday night coming up. You're going to want to make sure to tune in. 2 conference races are going to be pretty much decided this weekend. You've got the Firelands Conference, Crestview trying to stay unbeaten as they go to St. Paul, or they host St. Paul. And then you've also got Centerburg taking on Mount Gilead in the KMAC. That's what we do best, high school football. I'm excited for it this weekend.
And you can watch all the highlights and recap, as well as some Lenardi playoff breakdown, since we're to that point of the season, on the Friday Night Pigskin between 11:30 and midnight on Friday night. But back to the Guardians, since this is the only outlet that we have to talk about the Guardians. At least you're not Pirates fans. That's all I'm going to say. But that will wrap things up. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us from the southern part of our area in Columbus. Jonathan Langdon from the lakes up there, Lake Shore in Lakewood, North Coast. Andy Jardy. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Have a great night, and go Guards. This has been the OH Report podcast. We'll see you on a stream near you tomorrow, unless you want to watch the ending of the Mansfield Christian game. You can watch it right now at Brian Skowronski. But for now, for Andy, for Jonathan, I'm Travis. We'll see you later.